They prepped me for emergency intervention. The doctor said the umbilical cord was wrapped around her neck twice. They needed to act fast. I remember lying there thinking about all those months, all those warnings, all that judgment. 30 minutes later, my daughter was born. 6 pounds, 8 ounces. She needed immediate oxygen support, but she was alive. I was still in the recovery room when my mother-in-law arrived. She walked in with this expression on her face that I'll never forget. Not relief that her granddaughter was okay, not sympathy for what we'd just been through, vindication. She sat down next to my bed, folded her hands, and said 5 words. See, I told you so. I was too exhausted to respond, too emotionally destroyed to bite. Then she turned to Mike and said, maybe now your wife will start listening to people who actually know what they're talking about. That's when the doctor walked in. He was holding my entire pregnancy file. Every ultrasound report from week 12 onward. He'd gone back through everything after the delivery. He looked directly at my mother-in-law and said, I need to clarify something. This umbilical cord positioning occurred in the first trimester. You can see it clearly in the 14-week ultrasound. It had absolutely nothing to do with arm movement or anything the mother did. She started to interrupt, but he kept going. In fact, the superstition you've been pushing has no basis in medical science whatsoever. The umbilical cord floats freely in amniotic fluid. Arm position has zero anatomical connection to fetal positioning. What you've been doing for 8 months is spreading dangerous misinformation that could have convinced this mother to avoid normal, healthy activity. The room went completely silent. He pulled out a 14-week ultrasound on his tablet, pointed directly at the screen. This happened 6 months before you started your warnings. Your granddaughter is healthy despite your interference, not because of it. My mother-in-law's face went bright red. She stood up, grabbed her purse, and walked out without saying goodbye to me or even looking at her granddaughter. She didn't speak to us for 6 months. Missed the first half of her granddaughter's life because she couldn't admit she was wrong. My daughter's 3 now, perfectly healthy. It's every developmental milestone. Last week, my mother-in-law came over for the first time in months, started giving me unsolicited advice about potty training, told me I was doing it wrong, that back in her day, children were trained by 18 months. I looked at her, slowly raised both arms straight up over my head and stretched. She went pale, grabbed her coat, said she suddenly wasn't feeling well. She hasn't called since.